Hey, good afternoon, Hamden Action Now Nation. I am, as you can see, I'm in work, transit. I needed to pull over and give everybody an update on what is happening with this election that happened on Tuesday, primary election in my district, the 91st House District, and how the numbers seem to have changed. Um, As I said on yesterday's video, a Tuesday at 7:55 p.m., myself and my daughter went inside the Board of Ed. I'm speaking only behalf of the 5th District because that's where I was from 4 o'clock. We went into the building at 7:55. We waited for the people to come out and lock the doors. They locked the doors, and then we heard them go over to the tabulator machine, hit the button, and then the tape was running and running and running. We kept hearing the ticker tape going. That ticker tape ended I looked at my watch, it was 8:09 when that ticker tape ended. And then at that point, Peggy Kraft, who's an awesome human, she came in, she's run a really great polling station. She's been asked for us all to come inside, stand by the stage, and wait for her to come over with the tape. She came over, she had 2 handfuls of tapes. They were like so long, they were dragging the floor. And she came over and she read off the numbers. And we got a little confused because we were standing next to Alan Graham, who kept stopping her and cutting her sentences off and wouldn't let her finish. And so finally, she got all the numbers out. We received from the numbers at that time at 8:15. Lori Sweet was 227. Jen Pope 151. Okay. I wanted to let you know, guys, that we had somebody go down to the town clerk's office and get a copy of the ticker tape so that we could, see that those numbers are exactly what Peggy read us off when when we were standing there at 8:15. I also want to note while we were standing there, the machine, the tabulator machine, there was a gentleman over there with 2 safety bags. He was shoveling the ballots out of the bottom of out of the tabulator machine and putting them into the safety bags. And on the other side, it was a lady who unplugged the machine, was lifting it up and putting it in another bag. And they were basically getting ready to wheel that stuff out the door. I mean, it was basically, by the time we left, that part of it was all done. Everything was all packed up and folks were leaving. So those were that's the tape that she gave us, and I wanted to just share my tabulator screen, my screen of my Google slide here, because I want you to see what I'm talking about. So this is what we saw at this tabular tape printout is saying 20:07:19. So that is 8:07:19. This tabulator sheet was printed out from the 5th District tabulator machine. It said Pope 151, Suite 227. This is a copy of that report, that printout, that ticker tape that came out of the machine at 8, that was handed to us, that we were read to on 8:15 on Tuesday. So based on these numbers, at that point, we were told that the hand count was still going on. They were actually counting the paper ballots because there was a number of paper ballots that came in because they ran out of the tabulator machine ballots. And Peggy then told me, she gave me her phone number. She said, call me at 9 or 9:30. She said, we should be done by then. So I called her at 9:36 p.m. She said at that point, there was 49 paper ballots hand counted for Jen Pope, 36 for Lori Sweet. Okay, fine. So that's how that ended. So we went in, we calculated. I saw people been sending me screenshots of the Hamden Knee Solution pages for all night. I've been getting screenshots where I understand Joe McDonough said that the campaigns calculated things wrong. I disagree. We went by the numbers that were given to us at the polling station, and this is exactly the number that was given to us: 227 Sweet, 151 Pope. Okay. The hand count was called in because, again, the hand counted ballots could not be put through the tabulator machine. They were paper ballots. We don't even know what they look like. So Then we were able to get from the Secretary of State's office what was reported to the Secretary of State at 22:38. So at 10:38, this is what was reported to the Secretary of State. 179 Pope and 220 Sweet from the 5th District. Well, I would love to know why and how and where that this ticker that we looked at in this previous slide, which is a printout from the machine, says 227 Sweet, 151 Pope, and 2.5 hours later, it's reported to the Secretary of State from the town of Hamden, 179 Pope, and deducted 7 votes from Sweet's total that came out of the ticker tape machine. I don't know what the hell's going on here, and I don't know what these numbers, I don't know where they came from, but I'm going to drop in the chat after this is over the link to the State Elections Enforcement Commission complaint form. I want anybody who gives a damn about a free and fair election and the democracy that we think we live in to file a complaint about this. This is clear cut. This is what was reported to the Secretary of State by the town of Hamden election officials at 10:38 p.m. It was an increase of 28 votes for Pope from the 5th District and a decrease of 7 votes for Sweet. We celebrated at Mazorca Restaurant based on what we received from the printout on the 227 and 151. It was a clear cut victory for Lori Sweet. Lori Sweet was the winner of the 91st district for 2 hours. And then she wasn't. And it is really, again, I am a disciple of John Lewis. I tell people to go out, vote, have your voices heard, get to the polls, do it by any means necessary. But people are calling me back saying, how the hell do they trust any of this? Why wouldn't the numbers out of the tabulator be reported to the Secretary of State? Everybody needs to know that this probably will end up in court, because what I've also been told from text that the Jen Pope campaign has already retained attorneys to represent her in this situation. And at the end of the day, my final thought is, how does any of this help the south end of Hamden, which has been literally ignored for 50 years? How does this help our school system? How does this help the working mothers and fathers and parents and grandparents? How does this help any of us who pay the highest property taxes in the state of Connecticut, some of the highest property taxes in the state of Connecticut? How does any of this wrangling, why is the hell is our Democratic Party so hell-bent on making Jen Pope a victor in this? Why? Why are you so determined to make sure Lori Sweet does not get this seat? Why would you change these numbers from what came out of that tabulator? Why? And who's responsible? Because as last time I looked, election tampering is a federal crime. Jail time comes from election tampering for all who's involved. Why can't we just let the voters decide these things? They pay taxes. We pay taxes. We deserve representation that we select. That's what the Constitution affords us. Taxation with representation that the people select. What in the hell is going on here? And why does this continue to happen in my community? The 3rd and the 5th district were never given enough ballots so those voices could be heard. But guess what? Jen Pope's district that she lives in, the 6th district, had ample enough ballots. Nobody ran out of ballots over at Ridge Hill. Nobody ran out of ballots at Spring Glen or Bear Path or Westwoods. Why the hell would you run out of ballots? And now we have to rely on hand counts from people who've been sitting at the polls for 16 hours. I just don't understand. I don't understand. I mean, what the hell do you have against Lori Sweet? Lori Sweet had to defend herself on the doors. People were saying, why weren't you the endorsed candidate? And what's wrong with you? My question to me is, what's wrong with our DTC? Why would they not endorse a a two-term elected sitting council person who's already brought legislation for the town, has already organized our community? Why? Why? What does that say for our DTC? What does that say for our DTC, that you would basically nix a person who already has the legislative experience and the track record of organizing our community? Why are y'all so hell bent about not having her go to the LOB? This is going to get ugly, and I'm going to report everything I know, because you know what happened on Monday night? I was going down to knock doors and bring some stuff down for people to knock doors in the Goodrich Street. And I went over to Shepherd Street and there was a shooting. We just missed it for about 45 minutes, right on Shepherd Street and the intersection of Goodrich Street. And you know who was down there at Shepherd and Goodrich when this shooting happened? The Hamden police, Detective Crawford and his team. It was right on the New Haven line. Originated in New Haven with two people driving, following each other, shooting at each other. There was a woman, a resident down there on Shepherd Street, was outside with her son on his little bike. They all went running into the house. Who deserves to live like that? And where the hell was Steve Winters and his dog and his ponytail? Where the hell was Jen Pope when these people are getting shot at? Where the hell was the New Haven police? Why was Hamden's $25 million police budget out there investigating and searching for bullet casings and out there with a big, large contingent of police team? Where is the New Haven people? Where are they? All I can say is we will leave no stone unturned to report this to the community, because the voters have a right to know. It is ridiculous. It's disgusting. And it's going to be revealed. And I will repeat again, election tampering is a federal crime. And I won't stop until everybody involved gets an orange jumpsuit. I will stay tuned, and I'll check in with you guys tomorrow and let you know what I know then.